Danny Torrance in The Lion's Den, a hilarious dive into The Shining and the biblical Daniel. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a labyrinth of symbolism, from haunted hotels to rivers of blood and one very creepy bathroom. But perhaps the most profound and comically overlooked connection lies in the name of its young hero, Danny Torrance. Could Danny be a nod to the biblical Daniel, famously trapped in a lion's den? Absolutely, and the parallels are as absurd as they are enlightening. Let's explore how Danny's psychic showdown with the Overlook Hotel mirrors Daniel's legendary tussle with lions, complete with prophecies, survival instincts, and questionable parenting decisions. Danny, the modern-day Daniel. In the Bible, Daniel is a man of faith and visions, thrown into a den of lions as punishment for praying to his God instead of bowing to King Darius. In The Shining, Danny is a child of visions, tossed into the metaphorical lion's den of the Overlook Hotel by his dad, Jack, a man less kingly and more. Here's Johnny. The connection is clear. Both Daniels find themselves in a hostile, life-threatening environment, surrounded by creatures or forces eager to consume them. For the biblical Daniel, it's literal lions. For Danny Torrance, it's the Overlook's bloodthirsty ghosts, including a pair of twins who clearly didn't get the memo about bedtime. The lion's den in the Overlook Hotel, trapped in a death trap. The lion's den in the Bible is a literal pit of doom, but it might as well be the Overlook Hotel. Both settings are inescapable, suffused with danger, and run by powerful entities who aren't particularly concerned about your well-being. The lions in Daniel's case, they're actual lions, hungry, feral, and deeply uninterested in discussing theology. For Danny, the lions are the hotel's ghosts, Grady, Lloyd, and whatever horrifying thing is lurking in room 237. While biblical lions want to eat Daniel, the Overlook spirits seem more interested in devouring Danny's soul or turning him into the creepiest room service tipper ever. The keeper's King Darius reluctantly throws Daniel into the lion's den, but regrets it almost immediately. Jack Torrance, on the other hand, enthusiastically dives into his new role as the Overlook's axe-wielding enforcer. While King Darius hopes Daniel will survive, Jack would probably trade his son for a decent bourbon. Visions and prophecies. Danny as the shining prophet. Daniel in the Bible is known for his prophetic visions and ability to interpret dreams. Danny Torrance, with his psychic shining, is a modern-day prophet. He sees what others cannot. The ghosts haunting the Overlook, the horrors of room 237, and the fact that his dad is one bad day away from turning family dinner into an episode of Dateline. In both cases, the Daniels are burdened by their visions. Biblical Daniel must navigate political plots and divine revelations, while Danny is stuck explaining his terrifying premonitions to his mom, who understandably struggles to process sentences like, Redrum, without needing therapy herself. Faith versus fear, Danny and Daniel's survival tactics. Daniel survives the lion's den thanks to his unwavering faith in God, who sends an angel to shut the lions' mouths. Danny, however, doesn't have divine intervention on speed dial. Instead, he relies on his wits, his shining, and the world's most memorable tricycle to outmaneuver the Overlook's sinister forces. Danny's angel comes in the form of Dick Halloran, the hotel's chef and fellow shiner. But unlike the biblical angel who shuts the lions' mouths, Halloran shows up, takes one look at the situation, and immediately gets axed by Jack. Thanks for trying, Dick. Ultimately, it's Danny's own resourcefulness that saves him. By outsmarting his dad in the hedge maze, he proves himself a worthy successor to the biblical Daniel, who escaped the lions by faith alone. Danny just adds a bit of cardio. Jack is the anti-Darius. While King Darius reluctantly punishes Daniel, Jack Torrance is all in on terrorizing his son. Darius at least feels bad about throwing Daniel to the lions, pacing around all night, and fasting in regret. Jack, on the other hand, gleefully picks up an axe and chases Danny through a frozen hedge maze. If King Darius is the hesitant bad guy who hopes for a miracle, Jack is the full-blown villain, eagerly doing the Overlook's dirty work. Jack's descent into madness also serves as a counterpoint to the biblical story's message of faith. Where Daniel's faith brings him salvation, Jack's faith in his own delusions leads to his destruction. It's like the Bible on opposite day. The Overlook is a den of lions and bad decisions. The Overlook isn't just a hotel, it's a lion's den with better wallpaper. Its ghosts are hungry predators, ready to pounce on anyone who stumbles into their domain. Like the lions circling Daniel, the Overlook spirits are territorial and bloodthirsty. But unlike lions, they're also passive-aggressive bartenders and dead twins who ask you to come play forever, which is somehow worse. Danny's survival is all the more impressive given how stacked the odds are against him. Lions are one thing, but try surviving a hotel with hallways full of spectral blood, a decaying woman in a bathtub, and a dad who's losing his grip faster than a greased tricycle wheel. Conclusion: Danny's victory, Daniel's legacy. At its heart, The Shining is a twisted retelling of the biblical Daniel story, with Kubrick swapping faith for psychic powers, lions for ghosts, and divine intervention for sheer survival instinct. Both Danny and Daniel are thrust into impossible situations, surrounded by danger, and forced to rely on their unique gifts to survive. But while the biblical Daniel emerges from the lion's den with divine protection and King Darius's newfound respect, Danny escapes the Overlook Hotel with his traumatized mother and a lifetime's worth of therapy bills. It's a darker, funnier take on the same theme, survival in the face of overwhelming odds. So the next time you watch The Shining, remember that Danny Torrance is the modern Daniel, braving the lion's den with nothing but his wits, his shining, and the world's creepiest tricycle. And if the Overlook ever asks you to come play forever, just say no. Faith or no faith, some dens just aren't worth entering.